That MBRP exhaust is so loud on a cold start, it's crazy. We got the F-150 over here today. We got another project that we're going to do on this thing. We've done a lot of different little things to this truck. Now we have moved on to the lighting. So these headlights, I mean, 19 years old, they're glazed over. That was a very common issue on these vehicles from the early 2000s. This seems like they all do this regardless of brand. I bought that kit last year, the 3M kit that you can use to sand them down and clean them up, and it did improve them a little bit, but as you can see, they're still totally glazed over, and they're halogen, which means that there's like no light output hitting the road at all. I mean, it's miserable. You go out on a dark night and you just can't see anything, can you? I mean, you'd be better off strapping flashlights to the hood, I think. So today, that's what we're going to work on. We're going to replace these, and we're going to upgrade the bulbs to some really awesome LEDs from Headlight Revolution. So let's get started. First thing we got to do, obviously, is remove these old housings. So we got a little flap right here. I'll tell you what, let me bring the camera over so we can see up close what you need to do to remove these housings, these light assemblies, and then that way I can let him do the work. He can learn a few things as we go, and I can get some good footage for you. Let's do that. All right, I got a pretty bad shadow over here right now because of the time of day, so I'm going to do the best I can do here for you. But basically, you've got these flaps here. These are weather flaps that just keep junk from going back in there behind the lights, I believe. So we've got to move that out of the way so that we can get to the 10mm bolts. In order to do that, you've got these little push rivets. Actually, these are not push rivets. These have the screws in them. So that's what we're going to use the Phillips screwdriver for. Just going to go in there and just gently unscrew that. About like that. You don't have to take it all the way out. And then you're going to get a cat claw tool. Might be able to do it with my fingers. Yeah, it's easier if you have a cat claw tool. Just take that out. We're going to set it over here so that we don't lose it for now. And then that will allow this piece to kind of fold out of the way, revealing the other two bolts. So let's do this other side over here. No, it's a screw one. It's not a push one. You're going the wrong way. Very gently. You don't want to push on that because you'll just, it's all plastic. So you'll just end up pushing it on down, you know, farther. Now, gently, after that's good enough. Now just gently get under it and pull it out. Just pull the push rivet out. Like I said, it's easier if you have that cat claw tool so you can get up under it. Now let's put it somewhere safe so we don't lose it. All right. So then you can see that there's 1, 2 10mm bolts there, and then there's one on top. Now on this side, somebody at some point in the past has replaced that with a push rivet. It's supposed to have another 10mm in it like this side. So we'll go ahead and pop those two 10mm out. Make sure you put those somewhere they won't be lost. All right, now normally, like I said, you'd also have one here, but they must have lost this one at some point in the past because somebody put a push rivet in it. So let's go get that cat claw tool so we can get that out. All right, so on these kind, you can see how you've got a little, man, I wish this didn't have such a bad shadow. You can see how you got a little tab right there. So you're gonna get up under that first and just kind of raise it up. The camera is just not cooperating today. That's good. Now you can get under the bottom of it and it'll come right out. After you pull the top up just a hair, the bottom will come right out. There you go. Yep, looks like they've, and then you can see how right here you got a tab. That's just a locating tab is all that is. You just pull that up and it'll come loose. Looks like the headlight housing is already loose now. All right, so now we can pull this headlight straight out now. There's a snap clip back here, but if we get over here and just kind of pull on it, it should just come straight out. And it almost looks like this one, yep, is missing. Yep, they have broken it. Hold right there for a second. See right here, they have actually broken it off at some point in the past. So this headlight's been out before.
Is that broken right there?
Yeah, so we'll have to just, looks like it's broken off in there actually. Thankfully the new housings have new ones, you know, so we don't have to worry about it. So now what we're going to do is remove these bulbs. Very carefully push the tabs and pull out. Would you look at there? Man, those are pretty. Brand new headlight assemblies. I usually buy Dorman stuff because, you know, honestly, I think it's pretty good stuff. I've never had any trouble out of the Dorman products. So, you know, obviously this would be your passenger side. Well, come on camera. There's a part number. There's a part number for the driver's side. But yeah, the cool thing is they come with new turn signal bulbs already installed. They've actually got halogen headlight bulbs already installed too, if you want to stick with that. But we've got a little bit of a trick up our sleeves. We're going to experiment with some more of those Supernova V4 bulbs. If you've been watching my YouTube channel for a while, you've seen these LED bulbs on my channel quite a bit. The Supernova V4s and the GTR lighting Ultra 2s. I get these from Headlight Revolution. I'm not sponsored by those guys. They don't give me anything. I pay for it out of my own pocket, but I always buy from them because they have quality stuff, you know? So we're going to pop some LED bulbs in these before we install them so that my son can get some really good visibility out on these dark rural roads that we live on. All right, I got that piece out of the body here that was broken off. Got all the bulbs disconnected and removed. Let's go on to the other side over here. So this one has the 10 millimeter in the top, and once we get this out, I'll show you. What's supposed to be back there. So while we were waiting for the mailman, we decided to go ahead and take these fog light housings out and clean them up with some of this stuff right here called Plast-X and a nice little pad. You can take this and you can kind of wash those down a little bit with this stuff and kind of, you know, work it in by hand, get it all nice and wet, and then you take a dry cloth and wipe it off. And, you know, they're not perfect by any means, but they're better than they were. I think those have a 9145 bulb in them. So probably we'll just find some LED bulbs to put in these. You know, that way the light will kind of match as far as color temperature and it'll look nice. Plus we might get a little bonus light output from these fog lights too. But anyway, we did get our delivery. So let's go ahead and wrap this up, get these headlights back in. So like I was saying, if you've been watching some of my videos for the last several years, you've probably seen these bulbs. These are the SV4s from Supernova. At least that's what they're called. I don't know what the actual brand is, but these are the genuine ones. I think they have some Chinese knockoffs that are just junk you can get from like eBay or somewhere. When you're buying LED light bulbs, this is what I've learned. You don't want to buy them from Amazon or eBay or some cheap vendor like that. You want to get good quality LED bulbs. The reason why is because the quality ones like this are actually engineered and designed to work properly in a halogen housing. You know, the chips are the right distance from the base, you know, and all that kind of thing. You can clock them properly so that the chips are pointing the way they're supposed to be pointing, so that the reflectors will work, all that kind of stuff. They have good heat sinks built into them. I mean, the list goes on and on. A good quality bulb like this is going to be expensive. It's going to cost you about $100 per bulb, but it's going to work a lot better. You're going to have great beam patterns. You're not going to be glaring all over the road, blinding other drivers, that kind of thing. These are going to work fantastic. I've had these in my Rams and Jeeps in the past on this channel, and today we're going to put some in this F-150. So let's get started. All right, we're going to do this out in the grass so we don't scratch anything up. Flip that over on the other side because we got to get to the headlight bulb, remember? All right, twist that headlight bulb a quarter of a turn and take it out. All right, don't get anything on that glass. Don't touch it or anything. We'll save those. Who knows, we might use them later. Keep them clean. Just set it over here in the grass for a moment. Here is the V4 bulb, and you can see it's already got the driver and everything attached. Go ahead and check that connection right there, right here, and make sure that it's screwed tight. Not real tight, but make sure it's, you know, snug. Okay. So these are going to insert the exact same way the halogen bulb did. See how this got 3 ears on there? There's one there, one there, one there. One of those ears is a different size, so it has to slide into the wide hole. You know, if you look down on there, that one right there is wider than those two. So you got to put the wide one, drop it down into there, and then turn it a half a turn. All right. Now let's flip this back over now that that's inserted. Flip it back over so we can see if it's oriented correctly. Because what you want, it's going to be kind of hard to see. Yeah, it's pretty close. I don't know if you can tell on the camera there. See that? But what you want is the chip set. You know, obviously you got chips on both sides. You want one going toward the 9 o'clock position and one going toward the 3 o'clock position. That's how these things are designed, and it looks like that's about as close as we're going to be able to get it. So perfect. So we got that one done. We'll go ahead and grab the other assembly and we'll put a bulb in it, and then we'll put these back in. All right, so we got that second one in. Look how nice the heat sinks are on these. I mean, just a really nice heat sink, built-in fan. You got the driver here. Nice waterproof connection. Ready to go. Now we're going to put some dielectric grease on these before we hook them up. So let's do it. All right, let's get some dielectric grease out of here. Go ahead and grab one of those housings, whichever one you want to start with. Obviously, you don't want to drop it, so be careful with it. So which side is that?
On the left side. Or right side.
So what we're going to do... You're upside down. You're on the wrong side, brother. You got to be over there. Don't you?
No.
Yeah, turn them upside. Goodness gracious. It would help if you get on the right side up. All right. We're going to get some dielectric grease. I'm going to put in all the connections here. Hang on a second. Time out. Let me see. Where's the marker light? Right here. Let's do the marker light first. On my 2019 Ford truck, I had to go through this summer and take my connections apart and put dielectric grease in them because it's so dirty out here where we live. Stuff actually stops working. My backup camera stopped working first. Then my horn stopped blowing. Like, what in the world's going on? And it was just where these connections get dirty out here. Up and down these gravel roads all the time, you know? All right, where's that at? I'm gonna stick this on the LED male side of things here. All right. Now, this right here is going to need, this is for the headlight. I'm going to need some minor modification because this part is for the bulb, you know. Actually, where did the Okay, never mind. No, this is not. This is for the turn signal, and there's already one in there, looks like. So anyway, the point is we don't need this right here. So it looks like we can just squeeze right here and try to take that out. Or the problem is this stuff gets so brittle that it starts to threaten to break on you. So what we could do is just take that one out and use this one since it's already connected to this. See what I'm saying? Because that's hard to.
That's what I would do.
Man, that's because that's hard to. Yeah, it's already. Yeah, see, it's already getting brittle. Dang it. So let's do that. Let's do that. So twist this out. And we'll just swap the bulb over. I'm trying to use my shirt here if I can. Just like that. There we go. Now we're in business. All right. Now, we'll make our other connections here for the headlight. I can't wait to go out tonight and see and show you what the difference is, because I'm telling you, these high quality LED bulbs are just night and day, no pun intended, from halogens. All right, hold on to that while I tuck this in here. You gotta try and tuck everything in nice and neat because you got that extra wiring for the driver, you know? All right, so here's what you're gonna do. Line that up. It's not lined up right now, but you gotta tilt it a little bit and make it go straight in so that that clip down there, remember there's a clip down here? Look at that. That has to go in that whole protective coating here we're pulling back. So you're in the tab down there? Okay.
I heard it click, but I pulled it back just a second. Yeah, there it goes.
All right. And then you got this locator tab here. Make sure your 10 millimeter holes are lined up. Rock and roll. I'll tell you what. There it goes. Just like that. Now we can put that 10 back in here. Where did our bolts go? I'm telling you, man, one of the things that completely changes the looks of a truck is lights. You put new, fresh headlights in there, clean up your fog lights. I mean, this is going to look like a completely different truck when we get done. Awesome. So this side had a 10. Now this tab that I showed you on the top, where on the other side they had lost it and they put the push pin in there, we actually found a bolt to put back in there. So we're going to do it correctly when we put the new one back in. Cool. Let me find the 10 mil.
And that should be on the table.
The 10 millimeter is always the one that gets lost. And I don't see it right now either. What'd you do with it? I'm going to go ahead and remove this overwrap here now that we got the headlight in. Look at that.
Still on the extension.
Wow. We're not going to over tighten any of these. Just once you hear them get snug, that's good enough. All right. Now, before we go any farther, let's turn the headlights on and make sure that comes on and just test it. And, you know, while we're at it, we could test the turn signal also. Let me see if the camera is still going here. Here we go. Let's try this. Just to make sure you don't have to start the engine, just turn the key to on and then turn your headlights on. They're on. Awesome. What about your turn signal? Do a left-hand turn. Yep. Awesome. All right. we're going to go ahead and pop this one over here in, and then the next clip you see will be tonight. We're going to go out and show you the difference between the halogens and these LEDs. This is going to be awesome. Yeah, you can already see a massive difference. I mean, obviously these bulbs are going to be wider, but they're also a lot brighter. Now we're going to pull into the park here so we can do some adjustments on the beam. So just stop right over here somewhere, over on the edge where it's nice and flat, or we can go on up to that other road if you want. We need somewhere where it's nice and flat for a little bit of a distance so that we can aim these beams where we want them. But because right now you can't really see it, but they have a pretty sharp upper cutoff there. Yeah, that's the one bad thing about the park, is there's a lot of street lighting through here, so it kind of ruins the effect. But we're going to go down here and make some final adjustments, and then we'll show you the beam patterns. I think the beam patterns are actually pretty good. It's just we need to aim these down. You know, right out of the box, you're going to have to make some adjustments on new headlight housings. All right, we're out here at the county park because this way we can make some adjustments out in this big parking lot before we pull out on the main roadways. And we had to bring the low beams down, so now they're hitting the road right out here in front of us where they're supposed to be. You can see, you know, I'm standing right next to the truck. So there's the low beams, lots more light. Hit the high beams. The high beams will go way out on that soccer field way over there. Go back to low and see, it's pretty awesome. And you've got a nice sharp cutoff right there at the edge of the parking lot too, which is exactly what you want. You can see that on low beam, it's not illuminating that hillside at all. Like, not at all. There's no glare going up there at all. Hit the high beams. But when you hit it on high beam, now you can see at distance that hillside up there. I'm going to walk down the road a little ways and show you that, you know, for example, if you were in a car over here, oncoming traffic, it's not going to affect your vision at all. So standing right here, I'm probably about 75 feet away from the truck. I think just the lens on the camera is causing that little bit of glare that you can see. But I mean, if I kneel way down by the road, then you get the intensity of the light. This is probably about 12 inches off the ground. But up where you would be sitting in a car, you know, getting ready to pass this truck, you can see it's not blinding anybody at all. So fantastic, man. I love these light bulbs. Lots of light, lots of white light, but the beam patterns are like they're supposed to be. So we got one weird issue we're trying to figure out, something I've never seen before, which is that when you turn on the fog lights, it's automatically kicking on the high beams. Watch this. Turn the fogs on. Look at that. So you turn the fog lights down there on, and they're automatically kicking these LED headlights into high beam mode. I'm going to have to do a little research on that. I've never seen that before. But for the time being, we can just run with the fog lights off. We did go ahead and put some LED bulbs down there in the fogs just to make sure there wasn't a mismatch between how much current, you know, the bulbs were drawing, but I don't know why it's doing that. Anyway, awesome mod. All right, we are back in the truck. Gonna head home with the fog lights off until we figure out what that's all about. I mean, that is a really weird situation. I've never seen that before. I mean, obviously the fog lights are supposed to go off when you go to high beam. In this case, when you turn the fogs on, they're making high beam come on. I don't understand what's going on there. But we'll get it figured out. Anyway, Supernova V4 LED bulbs in factory halogen housings for the 04 through I think 08 or 09 F-150 trucks. Hopefully it's been useful to somebody. We will talk to you guys later.